Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. I don't really have much to promote until at the end of the video during the outro. I'm planning to save my promotions for the outro of the video. This is the intro of the video still. You're watching it, you're in it right now. We're going to progress the actual video soon as I say we have 5 albums to get through and grade, so let's just do that right now. I think that's a good idea. We begin in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada for one of my favourite bands, Counterparts, and their 7th album, A Eulogy for Those Still Here. Anyone who knows anything about me knows that I fucking love Counterparts. Out of all the bands that had the 2013 feud with Victory Records, honestly, fuck Victory Records, Counterparts have been the most consistent in terms of release output and also the most consistent in terms of quality. I'm giving this one an A+ all across the board. I adored everything about this album, right? The instrumentation is their usual, more melodic post-hardcore, emo, leaning metalcore, and it's something that's always worked for them. I've always liked their guitar work, I've always found it quite underrated. I think it's their first album with actually an older member returning, if I remember correctly. Jesse Doreen on guitar, who was with them for a long time. I'm sad he left, but I am glad he came back as well. Obviously, Brendan Murphy is still a fantastic vocalist and still a fantastic lyricist too. I love the theme of this album because it's titled A Eulogy for Those Still Here, because it's not about what we've lost, it's about what we will lose. And one of the things that the band lost actually about a week before the album came out is the lead singer Brandon lost his cat Kuma, who was adorable. I'm going to put a picture of Kuma up right now because Kuma, if I can find one, if I have, it'll be here. But yeah, it was an adorable cat. He's actually in the video for Whispers of Your Death, which is a very grimly titled song. But then again, Counterparts are known for doing very grim themes, which really, really work. I've already gone over that main theme, and it's captured so wonderfully in the album storytelling. The performances are great too. Obviously, Jesse Doreen's return is nice. The rest of the band is great. Brendan Murphy is still one of my favourite Canadian vocalists. He's still got fantastic screaming. He doesn't do a lot of clean singing here, much like he doesn't do on most of their albums, but he puts so much emotion into his screaming that you can actually understand it, and it's cohesive and coherent, and you feel for it. The production's fantastic as well. It's on Pure Noise, so of course it'll be fucking great. I don't know who actually produced this one, but really good job with the mix and just making everything sound exactly like a Counterparts album, which I'm more than fine with because I love that particular style of metalcore, and it works well here too. Structurally wise as well, the band is, even though they do the build-up and payoff so well, they're not known for putting out long albums. This album is only 33 3/4 of a minute, so yeah, and I'm surprised with how much they're able to put into that. Well, I shouldn't be because they're a great band. They've always been fantastic at managing their time, and this is a brilliant album by a band who are really, really, really good. Definitely one of my top favourite bands. So yeah, go listen to it if you've vaguely heard anything about Counterparts. I'd be surprised if you haven't. This is their 7th album. They've been around for quite a while, so yeah, go and check this one out. It's some phenomenal work, and their first one in 3 years too, so it's the longest gap between albums, so they took more of that time, and it's great stuff. Also, rest in peace Kuma, you were an adorable cat. I wish I could have petted you. Next we go to New Orleans, Louisiana for Goat Whore and their 8th album, Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven. So this is a band I've known about for about a decade. I just never bother listening to them because, again, you know, I say this pretty much every time I bring up a band like this. I wasn't as into the much extreme styles of metal, and this is that's what this band is. They're an extreme metal band. They have like a blackened death metal vibe to them, and even though it's not a style I particularly seek out, because it can be a bit repetitive at times, I thought this album was still really great. I'm giving this one a B+. I liked a lot of the instrumental elements to it. Just loved how crushing and heavy the riffs were, and how the pacing of it never stops, so that really highlights the structuring for me. It just keeps the pacing really well. I like how sometimes it's got a hardcore punk vibe to it, but only very, very, very in small doses. It is mostly like black metal, which is basically just very fast and more down-tuned hardcore punk, if you really think about it. Well, I'm fine with that, though. I liked how this is a band that seems to me like they stick to their faculties, and they stick to their faculties really well. Lead singer and I believe guitarist? No, just lead singer, Ben Falghost. Ben Falghost? I have no clue to say that. Ben, fantastic lead vocalist. I love the guitar work of, I'm looking at right now, Semi Duet. But there's no way that Duet is his actual surname, unless it's pronounced differently. I didn't even notice that when I was reviewing the album earlier in the week, but yeah, great work from him. So the lyrical themes focus on nihilism, Satanism, anti-religion, Basically the typical things a band like this would do, considering they've been around for 25 years. It does seem like, it is a theme that I've ran with since 1997, so it works, I guess. The production is actually surprisingly clean. It's probably my favourite part about this album. I was surprised at how cohesive the mix is, all in all, for a black metal album. That is very difficult to pull off, so I do appreciate that whoever did produce this one, when the Extra Mile actually made it sound good. That's basically what this is at the end of the day, is a very good sounding metal album. Also, this was their first one with Robert Transam Coleman on bass. Not that you can really hear the bass when it comes to black metal. Well, you can sometimes. But, again, the main focus is the guitar work and how crushing and heavy it is, and it's really good crushing heavy, so give it a spin. Next we go to Richmond, Virginia for Lamb of God and their 9th album, Omens. Now, Lamb of God is a band, much like Counterparts, I'm quite familiar with. Much like Counterparts, I did a backtracking episode for Lamb of God that I wish more people watched, because it was... and I'm proud of that one. I thought it was one of my better episodes, mostly. But, yeah, this is Lamb of God, just doing really good Lamb of God shit. I'm giving this album an A. I like how, again, it's not really much of a deviation for them, but this has always been one of the most just cool sounding bands I've ever heard. I like the instrumental work, especially because of that. It's just got this, again, I was going to say Tight Groove because it's groove metal, lol. But, yeah, it's just such a really, really tightly focused bit of guitar work and bass work, really good bass work at that, and some fantastic drumming, lyricism, mostly focusing on, like, political themes, much like the last album explored. As well, the performance is still great. If I remember right, this is their first with returning member? I could be wrong about that. Let me look that up really quick. Unless that was just specifically for someone else. No. Okay. Alright. I just had to double check. But yeah, everyone's pretty fantastic on this one. Randy Blythe is still an amazing vocalist. I've always loved his screaming, like, his sort of low, guttural, growly screams are always great. Willie Adler, sorry, not Willie Adler, Mark Morton, lead guitarist, fantastic shit from him too. The production's quite great too. I mean, this is the first one with Josh Welber in a while. Or, I could be wrong about that. I'm gonna look. No, it's it's not the first one in a while. They've been working with him for a decade and a half. That's my bad. I've got the Wikipedia page in front of me. I'm still fucking it up. But yeah, sorry. I really liked all the work on display here, though. This is a band who is excusing my hair. Excuse my hair? Yeah. Now this is a band who has always been fantastic at this kind of shit. The structure-wise as well is really great too. The pacing is so phenomenally handled. And doesn't really miss a beat at all. So yeah, I think this album is pretty fucking great, and you might too if you listen to it. And I say you should, because it's Lamb of God, and Lamb of God fucking rule. Next we go to Jyväskylä, Finland. I hope I'm saying the Jyväskylä part right, for Lost Society and their 5th album, If the Sky Came Down. Now, this one was delayed by about a week. I think it was supposed to come out at the end of September, but they had to push it back. It came out in the first week of October instead, and I was so pleasantly surprised by this one. Like, this is also, shockingly, an A+. I know, you don't really get AA+ episodes from me often, but I just really enjoyed this one. There was something about it that just really, really gelled for me. Like, the band themselves pack a lot of charisma. Lead singer and lead guitarist Sami Albana. Fantastic vocalist. I love his guitar work too. I like the lyrics, how they have a very good focus on mental health and broken relationships. And it's not something that a band with this, like, old school thrash sleaze rock style usually does correctly. But no, they took this so seriously, and I appreciate them for it. The instrumental work, fantastic as well. I love the drumming, I love the bass work too. Very good bass work from Mirko Lehtinen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Production wise, it's also fantastic on that front as well. I don't remember the name of the guy who produced it. It begins with a J, and I think it's like the Finnish equivalent to Joshua or something like that. But really good work whoever did do it. I liked the how full the mix feels too. You know, it's obviously left a bit raw, but there's like enough polish on it, and it feels very smooth, very very buttery smooth. As does the song flow overall. It's got a very tight knit sense of its pacing, and again, the flow is just very nice and very flowy, and a lot of it just really worked for me. I like how they mix it up as well. They don't just specifically stick to one style. It can get heavy. It can show amazing restraint at times too. So yeah, this album like has a lot of just really great stuff, and all of it works. So surprisingly, I'd recommend this one too. I didn't think I would, but I was thinking back on it as I was writing the review for it earlier in the week, and I was like, no, this album kind of rocks. So yeah, go listen to it. It's proper good. And finally, we kind of go to Chicago, Illinois for the origin of rapper Open Mike Eagle and his 6th album, a tape called Component System with the Auto Reverse. So this is only my 2nd album by him. He is obviously he's an alternative hip hop artist. He coins what he does as auto rap, and I liked his last album, Anime, Trauma and Divorce. I didn't like this one as much, but I still thought it was really good. I mean, giving this one a B, I thought it was a very, very solidly handled album for the most part. I like a lot of the beats that he puts on. Most of the album was meant to be like a throwback style to like the old, like late 80s, early 90s style of hip hop. You know, like the more clean, like Will Smith era style of hip hop. Before he slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars? I think it was the Oscars. Still, yeah, very good work from Mike himself. He still comes off as a very honest vocalist, but without as much trauma, anime, or divorce to draw from his last album. I don't know, it just feels like he doesn't have as much to talk about. There's some political stuff, but there's not really much I could pin down. The production's very good as well. I think he handled most of it himself. After all, Auto Reverse is also the name of his own label, and this is his 2nd album through it, so I got lucky there. And when I started listening to him back in 2020, well, I didn't really go back to Anime, Trauma and Divorce as much as I wanted to, but, you know, it's fine. His lyrics are, well, I've already sort of talked about the lyrics because, yeah. The performance is really good though. Mike can spit. He's a very, very good vocalist, very good rapper, a very good sense of his flow. Also has a very good personality for this as well. I like how honest he comes off. If a bit overly and bluntly honest, it still works for him though. Again, the production is really nice. The beats are really, really good too. Again, the throwback style really, really helps, and I like it when the throwback style like that is brought into more modern rap because I think it services it a bit more. See also Gift of Gab's final album, Finding Inspiration Somehow, from last year. Go check it out, it's really good. The structure is kind of where I have a problem though, because there's 14 songs, and a lot of them don't feel like songs, they just feel like 3.5 minute sort of scrambling ramblings. It's the same problem I had with Kendrick Lamar's album earlier in the year. Like, yeah, it's a very long album that rarely goes anywhere. This album does go more places than Kendrick's album, but like, you know, it doesn't give itself as much time. I think it needed a little bit more time to cook. But I still thought, you know, obviously I still think the album's really good. Just very good old school vibe feeling rap album. So give this one a spin if you're vaguely familiar with Open Mike Eagle and you like that sort of honest, like more modern, I don't want to say, but emo-ish style of rap. Yeah, it just really works there on Mike Eagle. I am looking forward to what he drops next, so yeah, it's good stuff. And that'll about do it from me. I will no longer be doing my most recommended, I will be doing my like least favourite to most favourite, or most favourite to least favourite. Whichever way I did it last time. So I'm just going to go with Open Mike Eagle at the bottom. I still really liked it though. Then Gotor, then Lost Society, then Lamb of God, then Lost Society, then Counterparts. I would still recommend you find all of these albums. I enjoyed them all very, very much. Obviously, some more than others. I apologise for my hair being such a mess. It's always been this way. Next thing I'll see you for, though, probably tonight, if I can get it done. I should get the Turnip Boy Let's Play fully edited and put up by tonight. But the next thing you'll definitely see me for, tomorrow night, Cutting Edge, Long Beach, California, the pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view of Season 5. It's got a lot of great matches on it. I've still got to sort out the rest of the matches in my booking council, but it's not going to take too long. Well, that part isn't going to take too long. The show will probably be long. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. But I'll see you all tomorrow night for it. And next thing will probably be a fight the night after that because... Actually, no. Just remembered. So, it's not up yet, right? Because I've still got to finish editing the Turnip Boy Let's Play. But at the end of the Let's Play, I did say my 19th was going to be Shadow Warrior. It is no longer going to be Shadow Warrior. My 19th Let's Play is going to be Costume Quest because we're in October, it's spooky season. And that Let's Play starts on Saturday, this Saturday, the day after Cutting Edge, so I'm still going to be busy. I love Costume Quest so much, and I can't wait to play, a thematic game for the Halloween season. So I'll see you all for that as well. Going to be busy over the weekend. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.